Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing yet another movie review, so hopefully you find this one interesting. This movie is a war film from Russia, Russian and German language with English subs, released in the year 2018, directed by Alexei Sidorov, and this film is called T-34. It's also known here in Australia as Iron Fury, so if you can't find under one title, please look for it under the other. So the story of T-34, aka Iron Fury, it's set in World War II. You've got the Red Army who are trying to repel an attack of the Germans. The Germans are coming close towards Moscow, and Moscow are desperate, so they send out their best tank commander, accompanied with a few other tanks in order to repel the attack. And unfortunately, during a very heroic battle, these Russians are either killed or taken captive. So the main character, the commander, he's thrown into this German prison camp, and the commander that was actually fighting against him in this particular skirmish recognizes him sometime later. And so this commander, he respects him as this tank operator, and he needs him for a job. Now, if this Russian accepts this job, life is going to be much easier, but should he refuse, then all hell, it's basically going to be hell on earth. It's going to be a lot worse than what he's going through. So he reluctantly accepts the offer, and that offer is to repair a damaged tank. Now, he picks a few other prisoners that happen to be with him in this particular skirmish at the start of the film, and they're going to repair the tank, and they're going to have to show off what they've done through a training exercise. That's going to be a demonstration. So the Nazi officials are going to be watching what this tank can do and to determine whether or not the repairs are good enough. But the Russians have a secret idea, and that idea is that they're going to use this training demonstration as a way to get out. They're going to break through the barriers in this tank, and they're going to make a run for it towards Czechoslovakia. If they can get to Czechoslovakia, they're free. So it's a very extravagant plan that is fraught with danger, but it showcases the human courage and spirit when faced with really impossible odds. And so whether or not they can make it is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on T-34, aka Iron Fury. I really wanted to see this movie for quite a while, but I did have major skepticisms. And those skepticisms what prevented me from checking out a lot sooner than I actually did. And those skepticisms was what not only plagues Russian war films, but war films from all corners of the world. And what plagues these movies is propaganda, is that the spirit of that particular nation they're depicting. And when you do that, it comes across as just really melodramatic and just full of itself. And so a lot of American war films do this, a lot of Russian war films do this, but American and Russian war films, they do it more than anyone else. There's a lot of other areas of the world, they are very patriotic, they want to show that they're the best, but Russia and the USA tend to do this more often. And so that was the skepticism, and unfortunately that is the biggest problem with T-34, aka Iron Fury, which is something I'll go into a little bit later. But what I liked about T-34, as far as an action film is concerned, it ticks all the right boxes. It's going to present itself as an action film, so if you go in there expecting really good effects, really riveting sort of chases and tank skirmishes, then you're going to be pleased. And so it delivers what it promises. And so for that, I can't really critique it too much, in that, alright, it's not trying to be a really serious film, but it wants to be a fun film, and fun is definitely what it is. And so it really executes its ideas in a way that's very extravagant, it's very stylish, the violence is very popcorn sort of action. And so if you want to go in there not using your brain as much as you would with other films, then T-34 is definitely for you. As far as the World War II environment is concerned, I thought it was very authentic. I thought the acting was quite decent. The characters of these Russian soldiers I thought was actually quite emotional. I thought as though the chemistry was there, they really cared for each other, which is something I didn't really expect. But it is very caricature, as the Nazis are the bad guys and the Red Army are supposed to be the good guys. And so it's definitely good versus bad, and it's very black and white. There's no grey area. And so the overall tanks, as I said, it's a very claustrophobic environment inside the Red Army tank. The majority of the film takes place inside it. And when they make a break for Czechoslovakia, I thought it was breakneck speed. It really sustained that level of intensity. Therefore, it never allows you to catch your breath. At the start of the film, you're thrust into what the movie promises. And so you know straight away what you're getting yourself in for. And then in the halfway stage, it gives you a little bit of a breather. And this is where it really builds that human dynamic and the character development. And so when it kicks into gear again towards the end, all of a sudden you have that sense of fear, because you don't want these people to die, because that slight gap in the middle gives you enough opportunity to gravitate to these people. So I thought that was fairly well done. It was actually quite intelligent. So the acting I thought was all pretty decent. I thought the villain was a caricature villain, but he played it pretty well. And so yeah, it's not an overly gory film, it's not a violent movie, but as I said, the action sequences with the tanks I thought was really, really impressive. But unfortunately, this movie really missed a home run. Is that okay? Yes, it wants to be an action film, but I thought as though it blinded itself with the action sequences, because this is a movie that should have been about human spirit, human courage, not about the Soviet Union will conquer everyone. The Soviet Union is the best. So when you actually paint as an overall generalization, you're taking the gloss off the individual effort. And the individual effort in this movie should have been really uplifting. It should not have been about the Soviet Union. It should have been about human spirit and the spirit that we're all capable of. But unfortunately, the shine has taken off that is because it wants to be that propaganda. It wants to be that generalization, painting everything with the same brush. In this instance, it's not the Red Army that I thought was the brave one, it was these particular people. And not associating them with the Soviet Union, basically associating them with human beings, could have given the viewer a much more uplifting quality. And so that was ultimately the missed home run. I thought it could have been a brilliant film if it realised what it wanted to do. And so the stylish action set pieces make it a very caricature action popcorn film. And so I thought as though, once again, it takes the gloss off the realism of human courage. And so I always thought as though underneath it was a template for a very good war film. But unfortunately, in the end, what it wants to be is a Michael Bay sort of action and a Michael Bay actioneer. And so that really is something that a lot of Russian war films do, is that I get it, if you are actually painting your country in a very patriotic way and saying that you can defeat all the odds, that's good. But I thought as though the movie would have been a lot better if they actually put more attention on these individual efforts. It would have been even better, because it could have actually translated through everyone that watches the film, not only this area of the world. So it's not a bad film whatsoever by any means, but unfortunately it's not a great film. It could have been a great film, but it doesn't realise its potential, and as a result of that, I'm going to give Iron Fury, aka T-34, 3 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.